Day 87, and I think the last day. I went in this morning kind of thinking that we would have 3 or 4 agendas as bills were passed back and forth between the House and the Senate. Our first agenda today had only 3rd reading on it, and so we ended on House Bill 240 being passed on 3rd reading to allow guns on college campuses. House Bill 265 passed, which increases the amount of money that goes into our elections. House Bill 81 passed, which is a bill to privatize our schools. House Bill 148 passed, which is a bill to keep you from getting a settlement when you have been illegally fired from your job. House Bill 282 passed, which raises your taxes but lowers taxes for the wealthiest Montanans. House Bill 323 passed, which keeps you from getting the prescriptions that you need because only a treating physician can prescribe them, and limits doctors and what kind of drugs they can prescribe. So I'm sorry to be super negative, but those are kind of some big bills that we ended on this end of the session with on 3rd reading today. And after that agenda was done, Representative Ankney stood up and made a motion. He calls it Sine Die. That's what most people call it. I think it's Sine Die, which is a motion to adjourn without scheduling another meeting. And even though the Democrats voted against it because we knew there were still important bills in play, that non-debatable motion did get a majority vote, and so we adjourned and are officially done. As far as things that are still in play, the governor really felt like he needed $30 million more in the budget. He sees some holes in his budget, and he had some specific items. And so last night, while we were waiting for the negotiations to happen, they came up with that $13.5 million compromise that I talked about. And Medicaid expansion is done, not happening through the legislature, and any form of insurance expansion is not happening. And so that leaves us with either a citizens initiative or a special session. And I think it would have to come through a citizens initiative. The governor has 10 days from the day he receives a bill to either veto it or a mandatory veto it. So now that I'm back home in Butte, I will be getting certified letters in the mail as the governor vetoes bills, and I will have to vote on paper whether to uphold the veto or not, and then send that back. School funding, Senate Bill 175, last I heard, survived intact in almost its original form. Not exactly, but almost its original form. House Bill 5 did not have funding for the Historical Society when I voted for it last, and I think there were still folks trying to get that funding into House Bill 5 up until the very end. So I have really pointed out what I saw as some egregious things throughout the session. But when it comes down to it, we did work together on a budget, and as long as the Senate can handle kind of their last final bills, we will have accomplished a bipartisan budget agreement where no one was totally happy. We did put a long-term fix on the teachers' retirement system and the public employees' retirement system, which was a lot of our main goals for coming up here. We did get a modest pay plan for our state employees, not what we asked for, but not nothing. We did a lot of bills for veteran employment, so many bills for veterans that a lot of them overlapped and were duplicate. So a lot of help for veterans through the session. The school funding did get passed, more schools and more people on board with the school more funding, and more people on board with the funding than I think has ever happened before. And we did get funding and approve a ton of building projects. We didn't bond for them. We are paying cash for them, but buildings all around the state are either going to be renovated or built. So we do have some definite successes. I've learned so much through this experience, and I have learned that Montana truly does have a citizen legislature. And there's not anything special or amazing about me that makes me be able to do this job. Truly, anyone could do this job. And in fact, they do. And I've also learned through these daily videos that people all across Montana really are interested in having a voice and being involved. They are paying attention. You're paying attention. And I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that instead of watching a video and commenting or sharing, you really can be involved in a very material way. In every single county in Montana, there is a Democrat committee and a Republican committee that meets at least once a month. And all you have to do is Google it, call me, email me if you're not sure where your group is or how to find them. The way that I got involved was I decided I had time to make a difference in my community and saw an ad for the Butte Democrats Central Committee's meeting in the paper and decided to show up. They were so excited to have someone new and someone young that they immediately elected me as state committee woman. You know, these groups welcome participation. They welcome new faces. And so please don't feel like you don't have any way to get involved. Go to your central committee, get elected to your school board or as a precinct person or as a committee person. Anyone can do it, and we should be doing it so that we have a voice, so that we're at the table when the decisions are being made that affect us. Because if we don't make the decisions, someone else will make the decisions for us. I can't thank you enough for the overwhelming support that you've given me through messages and phone calls and cards in the mail and pats on the back when I see you in person over the last 90 days, 87 days. It has meant the world to me, and I could not have gotten through this without you. I'm so happy to be back in Butte. I cannot wait to get back to my classroom. I'm really looking forward to the interim committee work, and I'll keep you updated when anything interesting happens. Please pay attention, get involved so we can make a difference. We have control over this situation.